while keeping the turret up and letting your opponents deny that away. Speaking of which, we are into picks and bans. Lissandra, Annie, and Oriana, 3 AP champions have been banned out so far.
Yeah, I like the
both of these
Lissandra and
teams.
Oriana bans just because Oriana targeted mostly at Jinky and Lissandra as well, because he's one of those mid laners who, despite the recent changes to the champions in the mid lane, doesn't really prefer the assassins. He prefers more of those control mages in the mid lane. So Lissandra and Oriana, as well as Zeref, just all taken away from Jinky, and now he's gonna have to play something totally new to him. Syndra as well is open for Jinky, so we might see him default to that. Annie, Leona, and Rek'Sai banned out for ASUS Fate in this case.
Ari, Morgana both open straight away, locking into Morgana for themselves. Once again, I have to feel that these Vietnamese teams, they aren't watching the Singaporean games. They aren't watching IGL when they are their strongest and when they don't do so well. And
I mean,
we realize IGL, when they play pick compositions, Ari Morgana, we name it the IGL pick comp because every time they get their hands on these champions, they do so well with it. 2 TLCs ago against TFR in the finals, it was Ari Morgana that carried them to victory.
Yeah, and I think rightly put there, Ari Morgana is something that has become a staple for this team. They're so good at controlling the vision around certain spots and the chokes and catching people out, using the mind advantage and then pressing fights, because one criticism I have of the team is when they play a wombo combo composition, they aren't always very aware of when to go in for the fights and when to not fight. So when they play a pick composition, it becomes very clear to them when we have one member more than them, just fight.
So on the other hand, ASUS Fate, they will be going for a team fighting composition of sorts, I believe. They have the Maokai, they're rather decent too to deal with the Morgana, and they have the Crocky as well. Valkyrie, easy to get him out of a tight situation. I was expecting the Silver, if they had really prepared something against this Bard being hovered over there, but that champion is disabled for now, and they will be locking Grace Nidalee for themselves. Grace Morgana will be the bottom lane of choice, and they will be playing a Nidalee in the jungle, perhaps sailing to the mid lane or top lane.
Aluya has played 2 Nidalee games in the past 4 games in the second stage of the group stages, so not too big of a stranger to that Nidalee right now. In this patch as well, just so annoying as a champion. You land the spear, you go in for the all, and you always chunk the person that receives your damage out to at least half health.
Now the thing here is I have to wonder on the side of ASUS Fate, if they go for the LeBlanc here, it means that they won't have any form of very solid wave clear, and Trash on the support role means that they will have limited engage options coming in, which means that they need a flash coming in from Lolita on the Maokai, or death sentence being landed by the Trash. That might allow IGL to say that, okay, let's commit to the big composition, we have the Morgana already, we have the Nidalee.
Yeah, but going for the LeBlanc is very greedy because Insidious Gaming Legends has drafted that going for the LeBlanc is very greedy because IGL has that Morgana. If you use your distortion to wave clear, she can catch you with a binding and just delete you off the game, and I think that's something that ASUS Fate has to take note of right now. They're saving their last pick for the mid counter pick, which is the smart idea right here. Locking in that Lee Sin for Mew and the Thresh here for a keyhole.
Now the question here is, does IGL go for the LeBlanc or will they select the Ari to go alongside the Morgana? The 2 champions that they found so much success with, I mean, I would personally like them to go for the R-Wing in this case. If they went for double AD carry composition, they would have once again ASUS Fate going away from very hard engage. There's the Lee Sin, he does have the insect, but once again, it's very dependent. Lots of factors coming in. It isn't a Sejuani, it isn't a Leona that ASUS Fate has. So going for double AD carries right now is definitely an option for IGL.
I think the issue is if you go for the Ari here, going up against a Maokai, it's very hard to land your skill shots if he's just standing in the front and blocking for his team. Whereas if you have that LeBlanc, you can find rather creative angles around flanks. If you land your distortion into mimic Sigil of Silence into the normal Sigil of Silence, it really hurts a lot, just that full combo in itself. But as you mentioned, the double AD composition here coming in from Insidious Gaming Legends with the Lulu and the Morgana.
So the question here is, does ASUS Fate want to play the LeBlanc against Astro matchup? That will leave them with very good wave clear, as we were talking about earlier. You use the distortion, puts you in a very risky scenario because suddenly it opens up all these Q shots to be fired at 2 locations, your current location as well as the back line. So Cho'Gath in the mid lane. Now that is something very interesting.
Interesting thing here is they have left Ari as well as Cass open, and Cass scales pretty well against all these AD mid lane picks here. And it gets to the point where your front line is Maokai. If they engage on you, you can counter engage with Cass, and if you stall the game out, Cass is always going to do more damage than the mid laners here. But yes, the Cho'Gath in the mid lane would be a rather strange pick because he can't necessarily bully out the enemy mid laner as well, and he's not going to scale as hard. You can't stop them from farming.
Here's one thing about Cho'Gath, however, he does have some pretty decent zone control, and together with the silence as well as the scaling ratio of AP on 1 on his ultimate as well as the spikes coming in from his abilities, he will be providing some interesting form of utility as to what IGL is bringing. So ASUS Fate, they have a very tanky frontline, but my worry for them is that they do not have enough damage to burn through IGL in the latest stages.
I think the issue here was that they banned out majority, or rather they, I say, They, referring to IGL, they banned out majority of Jinki's champion pool, and without the Lissandra, without the Orianna or Xerath, Jinki has to default to something strange. And you know, you mentioned zone and wave control here for the Cho'Gath. That's something a utility mage normally possesses. I think Jinki is just defaulting to something interesting.
And once again, on the side of ASUS Fate, lots of unreliable crowd control coming from all of these champions. The only thing that they can engage with now is a teleport, as well as a flash from the Maokai, teleport to the flanks, or flashing of the Maokai into the Twisted Advance. And even then, IGL, they have a fair amount of disengage away from that, simply because Twisted Advance is a target. The CC, Black Shield on the Morgana, very, very effective against that.
Yeah, indeed. And I think back to this Cho'Gath here, it's not something that we really haven't seen in the recent patches. I believe Westor in the LMS has been playing Cho'Gath mid for quite a bit. He as well. Just one of those millennials who's so consistent on a couple of champions. When they get banned out, you have to default to something else. And it's the same scenario here for Jinki.
So I'm really liking IGL's composition over here. Lots of poke coming in with the Astro, with the Nidalee as well.
Yeah.
Perhaps sending the Morgana into the top lane might be a better idea. This one I'm not very sure, but actually come to think of it, Lulu Maokai might be a stronger bully lane for LY4 as well.
Well, you want the Morgana in the support lane because, or you want the Morgana support in the lane because going up against Thresh, it gives you more freedom to just trade. And if a hook connects, you're safer as compared to the Lulu, because if you catch the Lulu of a hook, she's dead. But if you catch the Morgana or Grace out, you can Black Shield and trade back with the Binding and Buckshot. So
on the side of ASUS Fate, not really sure what kind of composition that they're going for, but this is very classic ASUS Fate. They like to play these very balanced team compositions with a little bit here, a little bit there, but this time I felt that they've oversaturated on the utility and they do not have enough hard engage to really commit to the double AD carry composition of IGL.
Like this is one of those scenarios where like one team is just fielding very heavy offense and the other one's just heavy in defense, and it's going to be who can come down to landing, coming out superior rather in this case.
Well, sometimes I have to feel that offense is the best defense. If you can pin your opponents under the turret, that's what IGL they will be looking to do in this case. So talk me through some of the power specs that we will be looking for.
Yeah, so the good thing here is IGL, they're running the Ezreal, who can have a variety of builds. You could go into tier, into Trinity Force, and you can just get the blue build, which a lot of the mid lane Ezreals like to do. And the good thing is you're facing a composition which has 3 melee champions, and in order to get to you, they really have to use a lot of their gap closers. Even Cho'Gath as well doesn't really have much of a gap closer, so if you have the blue buff, or the blue build Ezreal, you can kite behind and kite away pretty well, and just stay at a safe distance and deal damage.
I have to say the Black Shield in this case, in itself, Morgana's level 2, the Black Shield, or level 3 for the matter, is going to be the biggest, most important spell for IGL, and it's going to be a battle mechanics in this case, all that unreliable CC on the side of ASUS Fate, and Rapier, the one-man show who has to stop it all. The moment the Lee Sin flies in, you see Ward jump behind someone else, put the Black Shield down there, and you're going to want to see that spell immune towards appear on the screen, because that's going to mean that his huge outlook has just been blown on nothing. Turn around, burst down the Lee Sin,
and to add on to your point, I think Rapier as well is one of the supports in the scene now who has just impressed me the most. He's the most consistent support player, I think, in this current lineup of or current iteration of the GPL squads from Singapore. His Morgana is something that a lot of teams prefer to ban out rather than face, and ASUS Fate may have made a mistake here by leaving that open. Instead of banning the Leona, maybe taking away the Morgana would have been a smarter idea here.
The question here I have to ask about the Prick and ban is why the Annie and Rek'Sai bans?
I think
IGL, I don't think they do well with those two champions.
Yeah, the thing is, Annie is something that Rapier has played Leona as well in the past few games in the second group stages of the GPL, but it's not something that he's so comfortable with. It's something that IGL tends to innovate with and work a new composition around. But Morgana is something like its tried and tested champion. When you think of a Rapier, you think of Morgana, you think of Blitzcrank. Something like how when you think of Faker, you think of, Zed, you think of LeBlanc. Yeah, these are players who have comfort champions, and Morgana is one of these champions for Rapier.
So we will be moving into the loading screen very shortly. Once again, my name is J-Storm. Casting with me is Hungry Kid, if you missed that at the start.
Yeah.
So this is the GPL 2015 spring season.
I'm so excited for today, honestly, because
I'm really pumped.
Yeah, before the game started, we were just sitting and talking about how ASUS Fate and IGL, these are two teams that really have to prove themselves today. They're both looking for that 203 points, because as of today, it is the halfway mark of the second group stages. We have 3 weeks, 4 days a week of games, and now we're at that point where it's make or break. And both teams here, high pressure situation. 1-1 won't cut it anymore.
So once again, all skins versus no skins, and the disconnect on the side of ASUS Fate. Go skins!
Yeah. Skins, but I think it has to do a bit with the ping issue as well, because we are playing on the Southeast Asian live server. So in fact, it will be 5.5 instead of 5.4 as compared to what we said earlier. So retracting our previous statement, Slay not connecting to the game yet. Perhaps we'll proceed to a slight pause then.
You know, Hungry, I have to ask you, what is your favorite Lulu skin? Because I see LY for running the Wicked Lulu, and that's something I might want to criticize a little bit. Because if you want to run a
Dragon
skin,
Tamer Lulu, man.
Dragon Tamer Lulu, Winter Wonder
Yeah.
Lulu.
Well-
One has got a dragon thingy as the picks, and the other has got a Poro as picks.
I can't feel for the Dragon Tamer Lulu because she seems like, you know, the price tag is slightly higher and you're like, yes, I gotta pay for that premium. So Dragon Tamer Lulu in my opinion, but the Poro is pretty cute as well.
Well, but Dragon Tamer Lulu, there's no Shyvana on the opponent team nonetheless. Dragon Control is definitely an option that IGL might decide to go for. Speaking of the siege compositions, run me through what are the key objectives the siege compositions are looking for.
So basically you want to line up a good amount of line damage here. You have Nilly, you have Ezreal as well as Lulu, so if you can land those pokes, it's very easy to contest those objectives and shove people off turrets and dragons. As well as you hit your power spike when Ezreal gets Trinity Force / blue build and when Graves hits Infinity Edge / one crit multiplier. And that's the point where you want to start grouping up and you start sieging as a team. Nilly with her heal, the Primal Surge, is going to help Ezreal hit really quickly when he stacks up 5 stacks of his passive. And with that W on Ezreal, it's going to be a rather simple matter of sieging as a team.
I mean, I would have to ask you over here, because it seems to me that the confines of the jungle with lots of fog available, that is where IGL they would want to avoid. Don't walk in the jungle, stay in the river, stay in your own half of the map, and stay in the lanes itself, where you can't get surprised by a knockup from the shoulder or surprise trash hook.
The thing is, in this patch, the fact that they secured the Nilly is a big win already, because a lot of the pro junglers have felt that in this patch, Nilly and Rek'Sai are the best junglers at their specific roles, and I think I have to agree with that, because your early pressure as Nilly, level 1, level 2, your jungle clear is not that good, but when you hit level 4, you can get the Scouted Crab pretty easily. If you land the spear onto any lane, that's a lot of pressure you're putting down, and for ASUS Fate, they have to react to that because Lee Sin as well is a good early pressure jungler, and if Mew can't keep up with Hallelujah, who is, I think the latter is more experienced in this case, it's going to be big trouble for ASUS Fate in the early game.
Now, Nidalee's ganks on the bottom side of the map are definitely very strong, but we have to look at Nidalee's ganks on the top side of the map. That's when sometimes we see these Nidalees, they move on the top side of the map, they throw out the spear, and then because in the top side of the map it's a lot easier, you've got a lot more space to dodge around. Both are melee champions most of the time anyway, and then they dodge the spear, and then they have these opportunities to outplay the Nidalee. But I think you're right, spot on that one. Nidalee, lots of pressure on the bottom side of the map.
I mean, think about it, Whimsy
thinking
and
about
Glitter
Rapier
lands. Yeah.
in the bot lane, there's going to be Dark Binding. If that lands, if that confirms, Nidalee spear definitely going to hit as well.
So in top and bot as well, just very good ways of securing and making sure the spear lands. The only issue is in the mid lane because Rune, you know, AD carry in the mid lane, you normally just want to give him a safe laning phase and allow him to scale up to that point where he starts dealing significant amounts of damage. And against Jinky, it's going to be very important as well to make sure you dodge around all those skill shots, the knock-up as well as the silence. Because if that silence connects, your essence shift isn't going to get you to safety.
So now looks like Insidious Gaming Legends, they will be spreading out as 5 across the map. ASUS Fate, they are moving aggressively into the top half of the map, having a very progressive 4-man group in the top side. They have done this a few times in the VCSA. We have to see if they will be going for any deep invades or perhaps even the lane swap over here. Looks like IGL, they might be prepared for this one. Our for moving forward to drop a ward in there. He sees 2 people. There we go. Twisted advance onto him. He gets the knockup and he's going to have to blow the flash in this one. The Lee Sin has marked him already, but Myoyu is going to pick up first blood as Akiho very sneakily with the dash.
Yeah, that's a very smart move there by ASUS Fate, acknowledging that, as I mentioned, nearly very weak before level 3. Level 1 especially, just not enough skills to deal with the early invade, and ASUS Fate pick up an early kill and 500 gold to their name. Now, they're sticking around the jungle. They could very well just take this buff away and delay Hallelujah's early jungle route. Walking into the jungle is Rune here. He does not know whether they're still around, so they haven't been spotted escaping. They could have just based off of that, and now I think IGL will know that 4 members have exited the jungle here.
But here is the thing that I have to kind of criticize Akiho for throwing out the dash centers. They just seem a little bit too greedy. Just give the kill over to Myoyu. Get your jungler a hit early. Let him get the early jungle upgrade and let him make the pressure on the Lee Sin because he is dealing with a Nidalee over here. And if you can get the Lee Sin hit of the Nidalee, Hallelujah is going to be having a very hard time in the jungle. But no worries about that now because Akiho, scumbag support, takes away the kill.
Yeah, takes away the kill, but it's going to help them a bit more when it comes to the lane swap. In the mid lane, Rune taking a bit of damage, but now ASUS Fate will know where Hallelujah on Lily has started. The ward in the jungle will spot him out here. Mid lane trading just going very heavily in the favor of Jinky, and that's something that he has really utilized very well. Just landing the knockup time after time again, the rupture, putting so much damage on Rune and just shoving the wave out.
So it looks like ASUS Fate, they will be initiating the lane swap in the top lane. We have to see what LY4 will be able to do over here. The last time IGL were facing up against the lane swap, LY4 was able to secure the Maokai, and he did a fantastic job of staying in the lane and being able to pick up all the experience for himself. But now that he is on the Lulu, he's unable to throw out the saplings. We have to see how well he's able to manage this. But now Hallelujah might find himself a little bit of trouble. Milyu as well as they don't even realize he's there. Hallelujah is gonna be able to sneak this one away. He picks the blue buff for himself. Both teams just clueless if they just pass each other in the jungle. But now with the Wisp coming out, the Spirit of the Wolf, that should be a good indicator the moment Hallelujah walks into the jungle itself.
Yeah, this is great. They're taking away resources from an early level Nidalee who can't really deal with this invade, and Lolita with the early assist now, just doing the double jungle with Milyu. I think they're going to come ahead greatly from this, considering after this they could still return to their own jungler and get the experience that's needed there. Now they're prepping this dive here, but there is a ward in the brush, and Hallelujah as well as LY4 will be privy to this.
LY4 needs to get out of here right now. Did you realize that he has backed away and kind of guess that there's a ward over there. Uses the sweeping lens to clear it out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Grave is getting free farm, but because he wasn't able to freeze as well, Slay picking up a huge amount of CS in the top side.
Yeah, but this is good because they freed up a lot of time for Nidalee. It's bought her some amount of space in the jungle to clear out her second buff. So ASUS Fate moving to the top side, awkwardly working in the favor of IGL here. LY4 will to steal all this experience under the turret sneakily, and Rapier just comes up to provide a bit of assistance against this dive that could be coming in.
So LY4 does get a rather large experience lead over the Maokai. Lolita spending a lot of time trying to go for the dive, but in the end they do not pull the trigger. Still, it's like I said, a good win for IGL. Now Hallelujah contesting the blue buff over here. Not really sure if this is the best idea. Graves will be bullying onto Maokai, who's moving over to help. He's leasing already and smited away from Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's to be expected. Nidalee's level 3 power spike is immense compared to the Lee Sin. They should have capitalized on the early level 1 and level 2, considering they had information of where the Nidalee would be, but instead misplaying a bit and giving away the timing windows there. Hallelujah definitely ahead of Milyu at this point in time.
And Rune just linked the hurt down onto the Cho'Gath in the mid lane. Link the auto attacks does whenever Jinky decides to move forward to trade. But we're gonna see the support heading into the bottom side of the map. We're gonna see 2v1 for now. We have to see what Rapier is able to do. He assisted to make the roams around the map. Level 2 onto Morgana. Not all too much available for him just yet, but the Dark Binding, if that skill shot lands, it can be rather devastating.
Yeah, I have to commend IGL. This is really smart, giving the 1v1 lane against Corki to Lulu, because she can trade very well in that 1v1, and the bot lane looks like a gank is going to be coming in by Hallelujah as well as Rapier. The binding not landing yet. The Dark Snare going on.
Flash away from the Maokai. The Dark Binding does land, and we see some additional skill shots being thrown out. There's a few summoner spells blown by the ASUS Fate squad, but IGL, they should be happy with that one. They release some pressure in the bottom lane, and now LY4. Oh, unfortunately, the minions lose aggro onto Slayers. LY4 might have been able to convert that one into a kill.
Yeah, but still a very good trade in that instance. 1-on-1, IGL, LY4 has the teleport available, so it looks like he's going to be recalling and either walking back to the lane or just teleporting to pick up all the experience. But considering the wave is pushing, I think just a casual stroll back to the top lane would be the order of business.
He is out of potions, however, so he has to be very careful right now. Oh, he drops Slay down. The very interesting proxy with the help pick surveyor to get the distance down. But here's the thing, if you do that too much as a Lulu, you are very gated as a champion by your mana pool.
Yeah, mana pool not really working on the favor of LY4 here. Slay recalling, not being too greedy despite having the heal and flash available now. Milyu is going to come out and provide some assistance here. Slay just baiting it out against LY4. LY4 doesn't have to go for this, but if he's too greedy, it's going to be 3 members collapsing onto him. On the back is a keyhole as well.
I mean, Slay does have the heal available to himself, so LY4 is going to have a tough time doing this one, but heal comes in from the back. He chose out the Lantern. Are they going to go for this one? The turret has been blocked with the keyhole, but the damage is just too much from ASUS Fate, and he bursts down to very low LY4 in the top lane.
Yeah, this is good that ASUS Fate is capitalizing on LY4. They're trying to make him go on tilt by sending members to just camp him out in the top lane. Time after time again, mid laner keyhole going down to Rune, in the top lane. The True Shot Barrage just connecting so well.
So this is the strength of the Astro in the mid lane. You have a lot of global presence. The moment you hit level 6 is more than a Zeref, more than a Ziggs, because you don't even have to leave the lane to be able to throw out the very major ultimate.
Yeah, but however, Jinky is just doing such a good job keeping Rune in check. Up in CS already, just 6 CS up ahead. Despite getting that 1 kill, I think Ezreal is gonna be scaling much better than this Cho'Gath.
So Hallelujah, this is a jungler that we have been talking about quite a fair bit. So kind of break things down. Lots of things have happened in the early game. We saw lots of aggression coming from Hallelujah, but it's Myoyu who is level 5 right now, despite him losing his buffs over to Hallelujah.
Yeah, we take stock of the situation. His early route in the jungle was gated quite a bit by the vision, but I think that awkward dive that ASUS was trying to pull off gave Hallelujah the vision and information he needed to finish off his own red buff, walk over to ASUS Fate blue buff and steal that, and that's what got him ahead as compared to Myoyu. Now, picking up that Mega's Enchantment should be the next order of business for Hallelujah, and that's a major power spike because he's going to be throwing out spears and connecting with the Cougar form combination, and that's when ASUS Fate has to be very concerned. A sudden surge of damage can come out from multiple members of IGL. You have the True Shot Barrage, you have the collateral damage, you have that Glitter Lance combination from Lulu, and all those connected together with that combination from Nidalee could very well just take you down.
Now we start to see both the teams swapping their lanes back, so both AD carries and supports heading back into the bottom side of the lane. This has helped ASUS Fate quite a fair bit because even against SAJ and SF5, Rapier has been able to do so much in these 2v2s. So ASUS Fate, I have to say, very interesting adaptation to this game, swapping the trash up in the top lane and having to avoid to do with Rapier in the laning phase. Metal Sword being dropped down. Good dodge there, but they do land a hook on the Rapier. Throws the Black Shield into the wrong person. Very uncharacteristic mistake that we are seeing from Rapier. I mean, it's like what we say about Singaporeans. You can't praise them.
Yeah, perhaps not, but I think in the instance, once again, just find in that lane. Morgana against Thresh, not too much of an issue. Rapier helping his AD carry get a hit in CS ever so slightly. Has to be a sword as compared to the Sheen, so trades will go in favor of this Grace Morgana bot lane.
Arcane shifted out of that one. Rune has the blue buff available for himself, so he will be able to shove out this lane quite easily. But considering how tanky the Cho'Gath is, especially with his items and his passive, he will be able to sustain up pretty well in the lane. Except Akio might try to go for a hook over there, but Rapier just preemptively throwing out the Black Shield.
Yeah, the interesting thing is normally when teams go for lane swap, the objective is to either get their top laner or bot lane ahead, but in this instance, it is Hallelujah that has gotten ahead at the end of the day, and it's paying off really well for them because they're controlling the areas around mid lane very well.
Just look at that. The moment Rapier goes into the lane, Dark Binding lands onto Slay, and already ASUS Fate, they have been poked down, and once again throwing out the Dark Binding, this time forcing the Valkyrie away. The Q Summoner spell already blown by ASUS Fate. So ASUS Fate, they have to be careful, and they're going to be calling some attention down to the bottom lane too.
Yeah, Myoyu hitting level 6 should signal the go time for here in the bot lane. Akio just narrowly dodging that binding. So no further trades will be coming out for this very bloodthirsty duo here.
This might be explosive. Nidalee and Lee Sin are both headed towards the bot lane right now. Both teams might try to bait for a fight right here. Neither team has got vision onto the opponent's jungler just yet. Nidalee heading over to the Dragon Pit. Looks like she will be backing away for now. Oh, this is dangerous. They do see the Nidalee, the ping one, I do believe, spots on Hallelujah. Lee Sin's going to be backing away as well. So, situation in the bottom lane is going to be diffused.
Yeah, the pink ward did not spot out Nidalee in the mid lane, but they will take that out now. So they have no information of where this Nidalee is at the moment. True Shot Barrage denying the recall here. So this brings about a very interesting situation. Should ASUS Fate bot lane stay here to take the wave and be greedy, or just back off straight away and give it to Myoyu? But it looks like with the 3-man advantage, they will be sticking around.
Collateral damage is available. Hugh Summoner spells. Now Hallelujah finds the Lee Sin. Oh, Myoyu dodges out of the way. Dark Binding misses as well. The Q shots so far haven't been landing from IGL, but is this enough pressure to pick up the tower for themselves? Collateral damage is still available. ASUS Fate, they gotta be careful of that one.
Yeah, they should be able to freeze it here and just deny a good amount of experience away from the bot lane. Akiho and Slay should be backing off at this very instant because they know that Nidalee is still sticking around here.
Now IGL, they're just going to be putting so much focus onto the bottom and throwing out the Dark Binding once again. The moment that critical spell lands, is going to be so much damage coming in from the rest of the squad. Quick draw into Buckshot into collateral damage.
Yeah, so they are backing off a bit greedy there, but not paying the price for it. ASUS Fate taking this 200 gold lead at this instance. It was 500 gold at the start from the early first blood, but now looking to create some action. 3 members strong, IGL in the mid lane.
Powerful coming around from the left side, Hallelujah from the right, but the Cho'Gath is just so tanky at the moment. He doesn't really care. It's a few skill shots, but barely 10% onto him.
Yeah, and meanwhile on the top lane, Lolita has found the opportunity to shove up the wave and deny all that away from LY4. So taking a CS lead as well is this Maokai compared to Lulu. Rotating over ASUS Fate, drawing more members here into the mid lane. A lot of good vision being put down by ASUS Fate, just contesting the pink wards. IGL no slouch as well, just taking 2 pink wards out in the both side lane brushes of the mid lane.
Here's the thing, I have to feel a little bit worried for IGL because Hallelujah, he has yet to base for such a long period of time. ASUS, wait, they know he's low on mana, and because they know they've been sorted so low, they might be going for this one.
Yeah, mid lane as well as jungle have a lot of pocket change right now. Hallelujah holding on to 1000 gold and Rune just holding on to about 2500 gold. So they should have recalled and fought for that dragon, instead giving over to ASUS Fate without much contest. Sending a cheeky true shot barrage to kind of find that dragon steal.
Now IGL, you lose the dragon and they aren't able to respond to
Yeah,
it
they don't have a response to that. They couldn't even get the top lane turret. Lolita teleported over now. If they could create some action in the bot lane, that would be perfect for them. Instead, gonna give over that free advantage to ASUS Fate.
Akio trying for the lucky shots over there. Rapier once again missing the dark binding onto the cross view. He's just trying his luck at the moment. Hasn't really been able to find all the max success so far. But the pressure is definitely helping out the Graves. 120 to 105 CS.
Yeah, Slay starting to pick up in terms of power. There's a small window of opportunity as Corki when you get your Triforce as compared to the Graves, because there's a small combine cost for the Infinity Edge, and that's when the enemy AD carry is farming for it, that you can take advantage and try to go for that all-in heal as well as exhaust is available in this bot lane. So that's the reason why ASUS Fate are just playing so aggressively forward and trading damage.
So talk me through what do you think is going to be happening in the next few minutes of the game, because I believe 16 minutes Infinity Edge should be up.
Yeah.
Trinity Force up for Corki as well. And how much longer would it be until Astra starts to get his 2 items up?
Yeah, so they need to get the Trinity Force onto Ezreal and the Infinity Edge onto Graves, then start grouping up and sieging. They can make a great play by having Lulu just shove the wave up with Glitter Lens and create a side wave push, and then create pressure in the mid lane by just using a double AD carry.
Oh, Valkyrie there going balls deep with the Grasp face, quick draw into the buckshot for maximum damage, landing all 3 procs of that ability. But there we go. Slashing, there's no slouch on the Corki as well, landing splash damage from the big one right on the edge of the Valkyrie. Both of these AD carries just showing us a masterclass on how to play the marksman role.
Yeah, but you know, there is Valkyrie who is coming up big on the CS front, as we expected on this Graves. He has played it so many times this split, I believe, and honestly, he's just showing us a magnificent reason of why he's putting up a strong case for MVP this game.
I'm kind of looking at what Hallelujah is doing over here, and he's been putting so much pressure into this bottom lane, just repeatedly throwing the spear after spear after spear into the tri-brush. I just have to wonder, why didn't he just get a ward or something and go for that one? But he do pick up the turret in the bottom lane. Hallelujah's coming for this one. He lands the spear onto the Kyo. There we go, as the lead push up where comes in as well. The Dark Binding barely misses to the stay, and that would mean IGL has to back away from this one. Nonetheless, they earn a free objective to pressure, successfully translated from all the attention from Hallelujah.
Yeah, so this is really smart by AGL. They are trading turrets for dragons in the early game, but just as I say that, the response from ASUS Fate is a top lane turret. Now, if you trade turrets for dragon early on, you reach a quicker item spike in terms of ambient gold that you get, whereas getting dragon nowadays doesn't give you extra gold. So IGL looking to hit those item spikes instead of percentage spikes as compared to ASUS Fate.
Hallelujah now will be shifting his focus into the mid lane, and this mid lane tier 1 turret, I have to feel, is usually where a lot of siege compositions, especially when executed by less proficient teams, they might find themselves being flanked by a Lee Sin or maybe even the Maokai over here.
Not only just the Maokai, but the Cho'Gath. If you walk up a bit too far ahead, the silence into the Rupture will bring you into the Death Chamber. Just like that, Rune has to be very careful, but something along those lines, yes. If the crowd control connects from ASUS Fate, you're going to be in it for a tough time.
This Cho'Gath is slowly becoming more and more tanky. He has maximum stacks of his ultimate already charged up, but the moment IGL is able to take him down once, I do believe the Cho'Gath is going to be dying a fair bit over here.
It's good that ASUS Fate does have the tanky Cho'Gath in the front line though, so he's that mid shield that's going to be blocking all those skill shots for ASUS Fate. You know, Akio taken very low by the spears. This is what we expected from the siege composition. True shot barrage has been shot out. Will it connect onto Akio here?
He gets it!
That's a great true shot barrage. So there you go, 4-man advantage, 5-man advantage to the 4 that ASUS Fate have. This is when they start to group up and siege, and just a great true shot barrage here. Top lane though, Lolita is just shoving the wave out.
I mean, the only thing I would like more here, if they have the Caitlyn as the AD carry, anyone bursted down though, just press R onto them and wave bye-bye, and 2 seconds, boom, hit shot. But nonetheless, it's going to be the greatest collateral damage. Doesn't really have to range as well, but kind of does the job as well. Kind of burst spell to top up whatever damage that the coming from Hallelujah Rune that we'll be doing. And I have to say, Hallelujah stealing away the blue buff is really enabling the siege in the mid lane right now.
Interesting that they decided not to capitalize on the man advantage, instead stalling out the game a bit more here, giving a lot of the farm over to Rune and LY4, allowing him to just split off and get a bit of gold by himself.
But the thing here is, Jinky, only Rob Ages completed and so tanky already. IGL, I would feel that you're going to be feeling a little bit hard pressed to deal with this Cho'Gath as he starts to get fatter and fatter.
Yeah,
in fact, I would like it if Jinky starts to get more tanky items, but we see a needlessly large world over here.
Yeah, I think he's itemizing ability power just because that Feral Scream it does scale off ability power, and that's very good wave clear that ASUS can take note of and make use of. So in this case, I think that's why we've seen the push from IGL just come to a stall. Every time the wave comes in, one Feral Scream into a rupture clears the wave out clearly, just like that. And IGL can't really capitalize on it because their poke connecting onto a tanky Cho'Gath isn't going to help them siege.
I think you're absolutely right with that one, because against the siege composition, you really need as much wave clear as you can get. And at the moment, they only have Slay. And the Corki after a certain period of time is going to be falling off from his ability to wave clear.
Yeah, so Trinity Force being hit by the Ezreal on IGL as well as the Corki on ASUS Fate. Now Dragon coming up. I don't think IGL should be fighting this. Jinky is massively tanky and strong at this point in time. And if the poke, such as the Rockets, connects from ASUS Fate, they could very well capitalize and just move forward and kill members of IGL.
They chase them out a bit. And now IGL, they should have a very easy time picking up this start. They've earned a free objective for themselves. Poor rotations coming from ASUS Fate.
Speaking of full rotations, Jinky gets chunked out very low. The hook connects onto Rune. It's the black shield that keeps him safe once again. Teleport in the side from Lolita. Not too much effect though, so there you go. The teleport is desynced. LY4 has his up available, so you could just walk down to this bot lane or top lane and just start a push. Teleport when he's needed in the fights.
Well, at the moment, Hallelujah is still trying to build a little bit more mana for himself. He went for the Mega Enchantment on the jungle item. That's going to be giving lots of damage to IGL. Fantastic job. They knew they poked down a few members.
Yeah.
They were slow. He ate the two-shot barrage after all of that. And IGL, if your AD carries low, we're going to go for the dragon.
Yeah, and the tier on Nidalee is already halfway stacked. It's about at 400, slightly under 400 at this point in time. And Ezreal's tier is at 660. So in about a minute or two, when they hit their respective upgraded items, that's when IGL can even push the objectives, push the advantage, excuse me, even more for more objectives.
I think in a couple of minutes, IGL, like you said, they're going to go pedal to the metal on these objectives. Trinity Force completed on the Ezreal already. In fact, we're actually seeing the cooldown reduction boots on the Lulu from LY4 as well, which means that they're just going to be running double support. Never mind about the damage coming from Lulu. We don't really need that. Your range is not long enough. We just want the damage from Nidalee and Ezreal.
And he's itemizing
everything else is support.
Lulu here is itemizing extremely cost-efficient items, just going for an M2, not even going for any upgrades beyond that. So this allows him to play into a variety of roles. He could go for that Zhonya's Hourglass, he could go for that Void stuff. He wants to do just a lot of damage straight off and cut through the magic resistance that ASUS Fate has built up.
I kind of want to guess that it's Zhonya's Hourglass. I mean, Golden Yordle.
Yeah. Golden Yordle will help them out a lot, and now 3 members strong grouping up in the top lane, where Rune is just sticking in the mid lane with Hallelujah, clearing out the waves. Has picked up that Manamir.
Golden Yordle with all the Salty Lake goodness to the inside.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let the Yordle police hear you, they will get a bit angry about you thinking about killing Yordles.
I mean, so Salty Lake buns are one of my favorites. Liu Sa Pao, as we call it. Gotta eat that whenever I go for dim sum, man.
J-Storm really likes his Chinese food, I believe.
It's gonna be a rather slow game for now, because IGL, this is a very technical game. 21 minutes, only 4 kills. This is what I love to see. Very technical execution, and the siege comp coming from IGL. I kind of feel that if they won this game, ASUS Fate, they will have to look at the drafting phase and say that we got too greedy on the utility in this case. We went for Maokai, we went for Trash, we went for the Lee Sin. There's too much disengage.
Yeah, honestly, too much disengage, and bot lane turret goes down over to Sledge, and this should signal that IGL should start sieging, because they have 5 members strong, and they've all hit their respective power spikes. Infinity Edge and Crit Multiplier on Graves. The Muramana now completed onto Ezreal. And the tier just stacking up insanely for Hallelujah's Nidalee here.
You know what would be a very interesting item for IGL to get? Is Raw Portal.
Yeah.
Or Banner of Command. Because what you want to do usually as a siege composition, you want to be sieging on the side lane, and you want the other lane to be naturally pushing out. So the opponents continuously feel pressured, because they need to put multiple members to hold on to the turret, and at the same time they have to deal with everything else going around the map. That's going to be making things very difficult for them. And
Yeah,
I would
I have
love
to
to see
agree.
the Zero Portal coming in.
And not to mention that multiple members of ASUS Fate, they all play a crucial role in this team composition. You can't deal without any of them. And now, at this point in time, Hallelujah, just
Little bit
out of
low
mana, yeah. Out of mana, so you can't siege as well as they want to, and this is going to signal for IGL to back off here. Insidious Gaming Legends not going to stick around anymore. Mid lane has equalized and the bot lane is pushing towards their side, so someone from IGL will have to go and clear that out, and it's going to be Rune, I believe, that will be up to the task.
So Muramana completed on the Asura already, but this is level 2, the harder level for the siege compositions. This tier 2 turret, so many flanking roads that ASUS Fate can take, and it's going to be a test on the warding of IGL to be able to spot this out.
Yeah, it should be the needlessly large rod being picked up here for LY4. Or instead, he goes for the Abyssal Scepter, so instead of that stasis that he wants, he's going to go for that team-wide AoE magic reduction, and I think that's going to help them very well, especially since they have the Morgana and the Nidalee coming in.
I mean, just look at there's so much damage coming in from Rune already. The rest of IGL grouping up, they might find an engagement over here. But looks like they're just going to be fighting around for now. Rune playing a little bit frisky, but here comes Chicky. He gets the knockdown, but Wildgrove is going to save him. But here comes Slave from the backlines. He does pick out Raper, gets the ultimate. 3 people locked up. Valkyrie coming from the back right now. Collateral damage dropped away. Hallelujah from the right. Spear finds himself on the Muriel. Is he going to be going for it? Leaps off to the right instead. ASUS Fate, they will be pulling away from this one for one.
Yeah, a bit too dangerous there by Rune. Essence shifting forward, Arcane shifting forward, just to get a bit of damage in without realizing that members of IGL were not grouped in position. Only one member going down for assist rate. Very lucky in that instance. I believe if Hallelujah had a bit more mana, he would have been able to chase and just keep throwing spears after spears and cleaning up the rest of the team.
And Hallelujah finally goes back to the base, and that's going to be giving him a fair chunk of mana for himself. I have to wonder if he will be going for the Saros Embrace first, or be completing a Death Cap, because he's got components for both in his inventory right now.
Yeah, going for the Saros Embrace would be the better idea, because at this instance, IGL still needs someone to go in and soak a bit of damage, and when you have a Saros, you have a bit more leeway to play with. If majority of your damage from Nidalee comes in the Kruger form, so once again, Seraph definitely the better buy here.
Well, I have to agree with you on that one, but here's what might be going on their hits as well. If you go for the Death Cap, because it's like what we have been saying this entire game, ASUS Fate,
Land the damage.
they just can't land the damage at all. It's just so unreliable. They're CC, they're locked out, and they've just over-invested into utility in this case. So IGL might be saying, we're just really confident at this point of time, just get the Death Cap and get the damage that we need to take down these turrets.
That could be the other train of thought here for IGL. Bit greedy, but yeah, they could definitely go for that. Now the Dragon will be coming out in 40 seconds. Vision belonging to IGL along this whole river, just littered with wards already. Eats a spear and a binding to the face, and immediately just chunked out a third of his health there. This is something really interesting that IGL has brought to the table, because this siege slash poke composition has given them extreme control of vision around areas where you just throw line skill shots, and if one connects, you can just shove people off these wards.
So IGL, they are able to hold on to the pink ward for themselves. They secure the speed shrine as well. ASUS Fate, they back away out of the Dragon Pit. Now IGL, they will be clearing up some wards. I have to question the lack of pink wards in the inventory, but no biggie to that. As after all, they're playing a siege composition. Dragon has spawned. ASUS Fate now hitting back at the position to deal with this once again. LY4 pushing up in the top lane. He has the teleport available for himself. Looks like he will be building towards the Abyssal Scepter.
Something I really like that IGL is doing is every time the mid lane groups up, they start shoving it up, and it gives them so much wave control and pressure in the mid lane, because they can just rotate over with their very mobile champions and take down the tier 2, because their sieging potential is crazy at this point in time. They're going to be sitting around this dragon. It's going to be going over to ASUS Fate. Smited away by Miu here.
So much damage coming in right now. Slay goes with the wrong cutting, but he is able to land a fair chunk of damage onto Hallelujah, who won this a little bit too out of position. Now IGL, they will be pressuring the mid lane. They want to pick up this tier 2 turret. We will have to see if ASUS will be responding to this one. However, does pick up the tier 2 turret in the top lane, and IGL say that, okay, we've got enough. We got a turret, traded that for Dragon. 2 dragons with you, no big deal to us just yet.
And that's completely fine until they hit that 3rd and 5th dragon point. So I think IGL has to contest the next dragon in order to stop the bleeding a bit here. Well, I say bleeding in a very objective focused sense, not gold, because right now they are 2,200 gold ahead.
So the past 6 minutes, we've seen 2 kills. We're in for a very slow game over here, Hungry, but I have to say, this isn't a boring game. This is a very technical, this is a very intricate game of tactics at the moment.
I like this because both teams have been making very good decisions as well as very sloppy mistakes here. and it's really paying off slowly because it's starting to trickle down throughout the game now.
This is what ARAM would have looked like if you gave Monte Cristo the chance to design.
Yeah, this is what ARAM may have very well looked like. Unfortunately, we want more kills a bit because, you know, without the kills, there's nothing to shout about.
I mean, I'm just looking at Kyo right now, and there's no way he's going to be landing any of those death sentences unless Rune or Hallelujah do something really silly, like using their movement spells to get greedy with some damage. It's just so hard to land those. And Raby with the Black Shield as well, they're just really denying so much damage. But here comes
IGL out of position here.
But the wave clear is good from them, and they clear out the wave, and once again, ASUS Fate is just looking clueless around the map. They are having so much difficulty. LY4 doing a fantastic job split pushing the side lanes. No one on ASUS Fate is able to bully out the Lulu.
And as you mentioned early on, because of this composition they have drafted, they can't force the fights despite having a man advantage, and it's given LY4 so much space to just split push off the side. Now, if he picks up a Sheen, I believe that's what the Amplifying Tomb was for. He's going to build into that Lich Bane, and a couple auto attacks will take down every side turret very quickly now. IGL 4 turrets to 3 of ASUS Fate. The key turrets is still the mid tier 2 as we mentioned. Once that goes down, IGL will have complete access to the jungle of ASUS Fate and be able to set up picks very simply and even bait out the Baron.
Picks is an option, sieging turrets are an option, and now we see the Maokai of Lolita heading over to deal with LY4's Lulu, and they know that they don't have wards in the jungle, so LY4 not even playing risky against this Maokai over there. Just showing him the respect, not willing to trade at all, and just backing away the moment members of ASUS Fate go missing from the map.
Yeah, look at the wards on the map for ASUS Fate. They have a good amount of vision, but it's all placed in inefficient areas because they have no control of the entrance and exits of IGL's jungle, and that's really hampering their ability to just move around the map now. Hallelujah has picked up that death cap here, so going for that pure damage. If the Spears connect, it's going to be a good chunk of health of any members from ASUS Fate's team.
I mean, the other thing I have to criticize about Akiho's build here is that he should be picking up the kills for himself, so that they don't have to be so worried and concerned about a dog biting should they really decide to engage for. And once again, those death sentences, they're not going to be landing on anything this game.
By connecting onto Akiho, so they're moving together as a team to clear out vision now. IGL can't let this go on for longer. Surrendering their side of the jungle is not something that IGL will be looking to do.
Now the jungle is not a place where IGL wants to be fighting in, because there's so many random places where they can get engaged on from with the point and click of ASUS Fate as well as the AoE, and IGL with the skill shots it's a lot harder to hit at the constraints of the jungle.
They have set up a slow push in the top lane, so that should be pushing in favor of IGL very slowly. In the next 2 minutes, we'll see that wave hitting the midway part of the lane now. Flash being blown very preemptively, I believe, by Akiho.
He dropped down so low. Now we're just looking for the Ashware ultimate over here. Or they might be going for a little bit more poke.
European moving forward very aggressively. He wants to find the binding. Connecting onto Rune is the death sentence, but no follow-up once again from members of ASUS Fate.
Rune has to be careful with those Ashen ships.
The majority of the CC was used in that instance, so it was completely fine for him to walk up now. Top lane once again just shoving up so hard, and Slay being taken very low once again. True Shot Barrage was used for that. Rune just moving forward so aggressively.
I like the methodical approach from Rapier, just throwing out the Dark Binding and Tormentor Spot in all the side brushes just to make sure that they don't get flanked if they do decide to approach. And then the moment they confirm all 5 members are still in the lane itself, they just shove into the lane itself.
Look at what happened in the past 30 seconds. ASUS Fate has just been shoved out from the bottom tier 2 of the enemy to their own tier 2, and in this instance the top lane has just been shoving so hard. The 2 minutes have passed. Lolita has the recall to deal with that slow wave being set up by IGL, and just IGL's controlling this game so well at a great pace. Eventually they're just gonna outscale members of ASUS Fate once they hit their last whispers on their respective AD carries.
But on the other hand, they have to be worried about the Banshee's builds. When they start appearing on the side of ASUS Fate, that is going to be nullifying a lot of the poke. Although there have been some major nerfs to Banshees since, I think, a good 10 patches ago or something.
Yeah, well, when you can throw out a Mystic Shot every 2 or 3 seconds, Banshee's Veil is not really going to work out too much for ASUS Fate as the next pickup here.
It still is an important item nonetheless. This is ARAM mode, man, so all good items in the ARAM, you want it right here, right now.
You gotta get the Golden Bicep.
Golden Bicep, Kobe's Golden Biceps. Scuttle Crab skill shots, 10 out of 10.
Rune gets the Scuttle Crab for his team, so there's not going to be Baron sneaking today from ASUS Fate. And there you go, third Dragon being snuck away by the Vietnamese side here. 5% movement speed will be theirs here.
Very good job by ASUS Fate, just having the timers down onto the Baron and just stealing away from IGL and IGL. Not any slouches, they just go in for the Baron. They're doing it so quickly at the moment, but they don't have any tanks. So they might find themselves rather low, but here comes the CP home guards Maokai, but he's just way too late at the moment. IGL, they will be high-turning out of this one. He has popped the Righteous Glory. Hallelujah. Might find himself a little bit of trouble as the sapling slows him down, but that is going to be this Baron sneaked away. This is huge for IGL.
Yeah, with the composition that IGL is running, the heavy siege composition, the minions being powered up with the Baron will help them so much now. ASUS Fate has to be on the back foot. They have to start warding up their jungle and allow themselves to rotate between waves, to just rotate between lanes rather, to clear waves out.
I was about to say that would have been fantastic as your ultimate to push out the top lane side wave.
Instead going for the steal.
He went for the steal instead, so meh.
You can't fault a man for trying this on.
Meh. Don't go for the flashy face, go for the one that wins you the game.
And when I look at this game, I think about the SF5 game, the previous instance against ASUS Fate, where I believe in the mid lane it was Optimus who used that Ezreal True Shot Barrage with the blue build so well to just shove up a side wave every minion wave and create a macro pressure around the map, and that was what allowed them to siege effectively, and that's something IGL could look to do in this game.
Now I actually feel that when you have the Baron buff with these siege compositions, go for the side lanes instead, because in the side lanes flanking potential is a lot less. You can only get flanked from one direction when you're playing in the side lanes as compared to the mid lane, but there's all these random directions where you can get engaged on from, especially if the Cho'Gath is able to sneak around. But I have to feel Jinky, you gotta do the very counterintuitive thing, man. I know your character model is huge, but you gotta play sneaky with the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard for them, especially while the spears coming in. Playing sneaky will be what IGL
Oh,
has to
they
avoid.
land the binding
Oh my
Slay!
goodness!
He's gonna fall, and Rune jumps over the wall. He's gonna get off this one right now. He does blow his flash to get out, but that is
Round
the
two.
AD carry down. Round 2, Miao Sen, he gets dropped to about half. The siege composition just turning on for IGL right now.
IGL showing us another style of play that we've never really seen from them before. Normally they go for the AoE wombo combo, if not they just straight up pick composition, but this, just adapting to that land the binding, land the poke kind of composition that they're running is working out so well. Has to pop the Zhonya's here, Jinky in the mid lane, flashes away to get to safety.
Rune gets locked up over there. Finally, it's the first time they get any form of engage, but it's just too late. A kill falls later will be the next one, and they get 3 as well. 4 members down. The Corki nowhere to defend, and the Baron minions in the base. IGL, this is going to be the first inhibitor.
Their death time is still very low, so they don't look to be ending out the game very soon. But look at this, the bot lane just shoving up for them with 4 members strong. Double AD carries from IGL. They're going to be taking the second inhibitor of this game. Great play by the Singaporean side.
Rapier just on point with those dark bindings. That's where it all started. Landing one onto Slay without the AD carry. And let's know, on the south, ASUS Fate, the long range wave clear was all onto Slay. All the damage, all that wave clear on the one major target. Rapier MVP landing the dark binding onto him.
Yeah, if you look at the gold from ASUS Fate, the second most gold in the game, going over to Slay, and without that AD carry to carry your damage in these fights, it's a walkover for IGL here.
2 inhibitors down right now. IGL, they can just group up at the top side of the map and siege ASUS Fate death. This looks like they have achieved their win conditions, and now ASUS Fate, they've got to pray. They've got to pray that IGL, they mess up really badly.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something we've been criticizing IGL previously about. As a team, their mid to late game shot calling is not as clear as it should be. It doesn't allow them to close out these games as well and as cleanly as they could. And that's something they have to work on as a team.
I mean, one thing that is working for ASUS Fate at the moment is that the Baron buff has expired. So IGL, they gotta be a little bit more careful now when these sieges, or rather their sieging has lost a little bit of power. But the open inhibitors in the mid lane and the bot lane is gonna be giving them so much more strength.
Yeah, that's a big issue because Slay in the bot lane clearing out wave as well. That's one form of wave clear champion that you don't have. In the mid lane, Jinky has to clear that out as well, and that opens up so many sieging windows for IGL to just group up and go for the next or last inhibitor of the game. But instead, they're going to be walking over to the blue buff, denying that away and giving it over to Rune, I believe.
Well, it's important. You know you want the blue buff to be able to have the extended siege onto your opponent so that you don't run out of mana. And they do secure that. So we see the blue buff onto Rune, blue buff now being secured by Hallelujah as well. Those are your two champions that are going to be spamming spells away. And when you have the blue buff onto them, now sieging this top lane, it should only be a matter of, I wouldn't say seconds, but it's a siege composition. Maybe a minute.
It's probably a minute or so, and now they're setting up this push. All the waves are going out very slowly for IGL here. They send LY4 as well as Rune to mid and bot to shove that out now. Jinky going to be catching Rune out here. Doesn't connect with the Rupture. IGL's Rune just walking away very safely with a bit of swag.
Death sentence once again, Akihio. Come on, Akihio. That was a death sentence that you could actually have landed, but...
Oh, the Spear just chunking Akihio out so hard. IGL setting up siege once again. Spears just connecting time to time. Hallelujah doing a massive amount of work on members of ASUS Fate.
I mean, at the moment, those Spears, they led onto Jinky as well. And he's no longer even that tanky anymore. He doesn't even have any magic resistance. So all this magic damage coming for Hallelujah, even getting the Sorcerer's Potion for himself, will be dealing bonus true damage.
Yeah, ASUS Fate has to go. The window is closing for them. Bot lane as well as mid lane are shoving in. And if after Slay clears this wave out, if they don't choose to fight, they're going to be strangled out to death. One more Spear connecting onto Lolita. It should be go time here for IGL to siege this.
Akihio tries to get it for the death sentence. That is time. They have ran out of chances. As ASUS Fate, they went for too much utility in the draft. They couldn't find the hard engage. And IGL, they just went, oh, you got greedy utility. That's fine. Double 80 carry composition. Astro immediately just throw the siege. Spear after spear. Mystic shot after mystic shot. And now they are banging on the Nexus Stars. Valkyrie takes some damage.
Yeah, Righteous Glory being popped by Lolita here. Goes on to LY4.
LY4, it is the wild growth big for Akihio. Lands on damage. Rune in a little bit of trouble here, but he manages to cut away Akihio. Drop extremely low. He gets done up. The Monka does fall on the sidelines. Are they able to find any more flashes? Oh, that one. Death sentence does land onto Hallelujah. Seraph's Embrace. Ruby pops. Now Jinky dropped down to half health. He's just straddling between the two turrets. He's trying to stay alive. But IGL, they get the first Nexus turret. Are they able to get Nexus turret number 2? The Charm lands onto LY4. He's going to get locked down by the turret. A little bit of disrespect coming in from them, but nonetheless, they should be able to get this. Oh, Rapier extremely low right now. Asriel's still alive. Valkyrie kiting away. Is he able to get it?
Valkyrie!
Black Day just keeps him alive for one look. He gets Mirio as well. It's the double kill. It's the triple. It's gonna be the ace, and that is the game for Insidious Gaming Legends.
What a great play and great game coming from Insidious Gaming Legends. Very methodical and well thought out draft, as well as execution coming in from the Singaporean side here.
I have to say, that was just a win in the pick and ban phase. You drop too much utility, you don't get the hard engage, and then it's just a matter of picking up these double 80 carry compositions, getting the siege in, and when you don't have the hard engage, you've got no choice but to fold.
Yeah, and that's the first game over to Insidious Gaming Legends, but don't forget guys, it is a best of 2 now. We will see if ASUS Fate can come back in game number 2 and find a draw rather and get 1 point for themselves, but for now we're going to go for a